Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this quick guide showing you how you can get all the new t-shirts and awards in the two new arcade games, Acts of Fury and QUB3D. In order to acquire these two new arcade games, simply head into your arcade's office and then buy them. If you wish to get both of them, you'll have to spend just shy of $1 million. Let's start off with Acts of Fury. This one unfortunately really comes down to how much Resident Evil 6 you've played. And for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, you have to smash buttons like your life depends on it. In order to get a successful high score of 1100, you need to fully charge up the bar and then have the white line hit this area. If you do so, you will have successfully gotten 1100 points. If the bar is slightly off the maximum, then you will simply not get the 1100 points. For the button smash moment, you basically want to start smashing the button as soon as you start the game and then keep going until the numbers hit 0. If you stop smashing the button before, you will not get enough power. If you're on console, the way I like to use to smash the button was by holding the controller upside down and then do it that way. Another thing you can also do when the default button isn't working out for you is to change the button layouts on your respective console. Links to tutorials on how to do that will be in the description down below. The white line in the red area can also be a little bit tricky on console, as there seems to be a bit of input lag even with a wired controller. So for that reason, you simply just have to get the timing right. A good tip I can give you is that after you heard this sound, the white line will start to drop and you will have to be ready. It might take you a few tries to get the timing right, but overall the biggest pain will be your thumb whenever you're done with this one. Once you've gotten the 1100 points 11 times, you will have done all the challenges and you can let your thumb go on a much deserved vacation. And before you ask, you do not have to get this done 11 times in a row, so you can take breaks if you want to. Next up is QUB3D, the arcade game that's making its return from GTA 4. And for those who've played it in GTA 4, you don't have to worry about it too much. From what I can tell, it hasn't changed at all from its original. But this time around, you will have to get a high score of 19,000 instead of 10,950 like you did in GTA 4 for the achievement. As well as reaching level 20 without using any special abilities. Now it is possible to get both at the same time, but personally I would advise to do these two separately as the strategy for them is slightly different. Having said this, if you want to get both of them at the same time, then simply follow the strategy I'm about to show you and don't use any abilities until you reach level 20. Let me start off by explaining the controls, as that might be a bit confusing for a newer player, or it might be useful just to tell either way. It works pretty simple. Just use your D-pad on your controller or your arrow keys on PC in order to move the blocks around. If you don't press down, you won't go faster. You can also change the direction of the blocks by simply pressing the button for the desired location. So if you have a green block on the right and you want it to be on the left, simply press the left directional button and it shall be how you want it to be. Another useful tip I can give you is that if you have a block on top of another block, you can actually make it disappear. So if you have no use for a red block, for example, you can just keep it on top of the other block to make it disappear when you hit your stack. It might cost you a few points, but the survival is going to be your top priority. For the high score award, what you want to do is as soon as you start, you want to create as many squares of the same color as possible, because when you do so, you will get power. For every 4 squares you make, you will get a special ability. Now there's a total of 4 of them, but the only one you really want to be using is going to be the red one, which you can use by pressing the circle button on PS4, the B button on Xbox One, or the right click button on PC. This special ability will eliminate the bottom half of squares and will still give you the points for using this ability, thus making it a very useful ability to use whenever you see you're in trouble and you're about to lose. Try to only use this special ability when you see there's no way out, as later in the game making these squares will be rather difficult, so try to get 12 squares in total at the start so you will have 3 special abilities ready for whenever you need one. This is especially useful because every 5 levels you will have a new color to deal with. At level 5 this will be yellow, at level 10 this will be pink, and at level 15 onwards this will be orange. Every level will have a total of 12 turns, which means that every 60 turns you will have a new color. So make sure to keep enough room for these new colors so you don't get them mixed up. The main thing you want to be focusing on is to keep the bottom as empty as possible, so that way you have enough room for a new color. After you've gotten your 12 squares, make sure to stop getting them, as they will only give you 25 points instead of the at least 150 for getting a regular streak of 4. From what I can tell, it's not really worth to go for specific shapes, as this will only make everything a little bit more difficult than it needs to be, as well as the fact that you simply want to focus on staying alive. You know, like the Bee Gees. For the level 20 award, stuff changes a little bit, and part of the strategy you can also use after you've gotten your 12 squares in the previous challenge. What you want to do is to create stacks instead of squares, because this way you'll have plenty of room for possible new colors. And because you cannot use any special abilities, you'll want to be a bit more careful. Make sure to take your time with every move, and make sure that even if you cannot get 4 blocks together, that you position it in such a way that the next turn you could potentially get those 4 blocks together anyway. A neat little trick you can also use is to pay attention to the next blocks that will come. You can find these at the top left of your screen underneath the special abilities. Other than that, it really comes down to how good you are with predicting where you're going to be placing these. And I hope that the gameplay that I've shown will also give you a good idea of how to play this. But with all that said and with all that done, thank you also very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed or found it useful, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.